Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Eldred and I'm with the Center for Best Practices. Thank you for joining us today for the Enhance Your School Meals with the Smart Food Planner webinar. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items that I'd like to discuss. Attendees are in listen-only mode. We will be recording this webinar today and then we will circulate the slides and webinar recording at a later date. We will also be taking questions at the end of the webinar, so please use the question box for your questions and we will read them out loud or respond to them individually. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my colleague Summer Kriegshauser to start the webinar. Thank you, Stephanie. Hi everyone, thank you all for joining us. I'm really excited about today's webinar because we are demoing a really exciting tool that I think will be beneficial to everyone who's involved in school meals in some way, shape, or form. Like Stephanie said, I am Summer Kriegshauser. I am a program manager here at our No Kid Hungry Center for Best Practices. And joining me today is Jill Turley, who is with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, and she will actually be doing the demo section of the new tool. So before we launch into the tool, I just want to give a little bit of background about Share Our Strength, No Kid Hungry, who we are and what we do. Our whole mission is to end childhood hunger, and we do that in a couple different ways. The first is that we work to increase access to the federal meals program. So our focus is on increasing access to school breakfast, after school meals. We also empower families through our Cooking Matters program, which really adds a community aspect to the work that we do. We lead grocery store tours, and we really teach families how to stretch their budgets and prepare nutritious meals. And then finally, we drive awareness to childhood hunger by working with our local, state, and national elected officials to really move the needle on childhood hunger by passing effective policy. At our No Kid Hungry Center for Best Practices, this is where we decide what the best practices are to promote out to our schools to really make the most of school breakfast, after school meals, and summer meals programs. And so we conduct research studies, we create tools, we do training such as this webinar, and so that's why we are promoting this new Smart Food Planner tool, because we think this is a very valuable tool and we're so excited to be showcasing it today with the Alliance. I also, before I want to hand it over to Jill, talk about our just tools that we have on our Center for Best Practices website. Here's the link, and this link will be embedded in the PowerPoint that we are sending out after this webinar. But as you can see, I've highlighted our school breakfast page, which is the picture right in the middle, and then we have our toolkit on the left, and then one of our implementation tools that's towards grab and go. So our website has a wonderful amount of tools and resources that can really help your breakfast program or summer meals or after school meals. So please visit that. And then finally, I'm going to hand it over to Jill Turley, who is with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, who will take you through this great Smart Food Planner tool.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you all allowing me to showcase the Smart Food Planner today. I'm excited to share some of the features and benefits of this great tool that the Alliance launched this summer. A quick little note about me, I am with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. I'm one of 3 national nutrition advisors, and I work with schools and out-of-school time programs to create healthier environments. So there's a couple of ways that you can engage with us today. If you're on Twitter, please feel free to tweet during our webinar. You can hashtag Alliance Learning. Be sure to tag at NoKidHungry, at HealthierGen, or tag myself at RDJill. We will get started. All right, so we are moving into talking about the Smart Food Planner. This is really your one-stop shop food and beverage place. It really takes the guesswork out of finding healthier foods and beverages that students are going to love, but that budgets will like as well. It's a one-of-a-kind resource that the Alliance launched this summer. It includes enhanced product search functionality, so if anyone is familiar with our former product navigator, we still have a product database within the new Smart Food Planner, but it's much more user-friendly and a lot easier to search. There's the ability for school and out-of-school time site staff to view interactive sample menus as well as recipes. And then there's features where you can share favorites with one another, and it integrates very seamlessly the Smart Snacks product calculator as well. You can also find on our homepage a lot of information about various trainings, child nutrition hot topics, and child nutrition breaking news. And Stephanie, if we could switch over to the website, I'll do a live demonstration of some of the functionality for everyone. And after we move through our live demonstration, we will have an interactive portion of our webinar, so you'll have the opportunity to go in and check out the Smart Food Planner functionality and do a little bit of a scavenger hunt after we go through some of the major features of the site. All right, thank you very much. So this is the home page to the Smart Food Planner. You can find it at foodplanner.healthiergeneration.org, and we'll put that in the chat box for everyone so that you can easily access it for the second half of our webinar. So on our home page, you can link to the products, the recipes, and the menu plans. This is also where you can launch the Smart Snacks product calculator. So if you're looking for Smart Snacks compliant items, you can do that right from the home page. A couple of other things that you'll find on the homepage itself, when there's breaking child nutrition news, such as new regulations that are released by USDA that just happened a while back, or the farm to school grants we have up there right now because those were released recently. So we have breaking news area on our homepage. You can also see where the nutrition advisors are. So myself and my teammates host trainings virtually and live across the country all throughout the month. So if you're curious as to where myself or my colleagues are, you can find that on our homepage as well. And then we also link to our online training center, which I'll talk a little bit about at the end when we discuss some resources. So we're going to start by diving first into products. As I mentioned, this is a very user-friendly search, and you can filter based on category, based on meal, based on product type, lots of different ways to filter. So for example, we'll filter by breakfast items. You can see there's about 73 breakfast items in the product database. You can filter by type of product. So if you're looking for snack foods, for example, you want to see those that have fruit as the first ingredient. You can filter by that as well. So lots of great ways that you can find exactly what it is that you're looking for. You can use this to show school groups, to show organizational leadership, or even vendors lists of products that you're interested in. So one of the great features of the Smart Food Planner is this export button. This is a real-time export of either all of the products in the database or the specific search that you've set up. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do the export today because it does take a minute to run, but it pops up as an Excel file. So it gives you the vendor, it gives you the product name, a little bit about the description, and the SKU so that you can easily find those. So this is a great thing, again, that you can use to show lists to various stakeholders to make sure that you're getting the products that you want. Next, we'll move on to our recipe database. Similar to the product database, you can filter by various things as well. So you can filter by meal type, for example. We're going to filter by supper. So you can see several recipes that are appropriate for serving in your supper programs. So this is a great function that you can use to taste test different recipes for your menu. You can let kids showcase their culinary skills by making a few for your next back to school night or family night. Lots of different recipes in there, and this is a database that we want to continue to build. Next, we'll move on to menu plans. So we have several different types of menus in the menu plan database. We have breakfast, lunch, supper, summer, and snack menus. So we'll go in and view some of the summer menus. So again, it's very easy to read menus. The great thing about the menus is they're also interactive. So where you see hyperlinks, these are linked back to a search in the product database. So it will pop up, if you're looking for some chilled fruit products that are listed on the menu, it'll pop up some examples from the product database. Go back to our menu plan. Got several breakfast menus in here as well for different audiences. So you can use these menu plans to, again, just generate ideas for different things that you want to do with your menus based on the various applications in school food service. You can print these. They print out very nicely. You can use them to link back to the product database. There's a lot of great ways that you can use the menus. All right. And one thing that I want to mention about the recipes and the menus, this is an area of the website that we really want to bulk up, and we really want to have recipes and menus that feature what our schools and our out-of-school time sites are currently doing. So at the end of this presentation, you'll get an email where you can send recipes and menus if you'd like to see your menus showcased or your recipes showcased on the Smart Food Planner. That's great information that we want to get from you all. One final thing that I'll mention before we move into our scavenger hunt. You can also log in. This is the same login that you would use for your regular Alliance account. It seamlessly integrates from our other homepage. And by logging in, it gives you access to a few more high-level functionality of the Smart Food Planner. So if you go into your account, this is where you'll pop up a dashboard, and you can save favorite recipes, you can save favorite menus, you can save favorite products. You can create different lists. So I've created lists of products, or I've created Jill's recipe book, some of my favorite recipes. And it's very easy to do that. When you're in a recipe, for example, up here you'll see this Save to List. And when you click on that, it'll ask you where you want to save it. Do you just want to save it to your favorites in general, or have you started creating specific lists that you want to share with your food service director, or that you want to share with your vendors? Maybe you started a product list, or you started a menu list. You can create as many as you want and save individual facets of the Smart Food Planner to each of those lists however you would like. All right, now we can go back to our PowerPoint, and we'll put the Smart Food Planner website up. We're going to move into our interactive section. Thank you. So this is the website, foodplanner.healthiergeneration.org. And as you can see, it's in the chat box there for you, so you can easily access it. So use that, pop that up in a new window, and we'll give you just a minute to get that website up. And then we're going to ask a few questions so that you have the opportunity to explore the Smart Food Planner just a little bit, and we'll see what you would think. All right, and we'll go ahead and launch our first question. This will be done poll style, so you'll see the question on the screen. There's multiple choice, and you can just choose your answer. And once we've kind of got the majority of folks that have answered the question, then we'll give the correct answer and move on to the next question. So our first question is, how many carrots are in the product database? And in the interest of time, we'll give everyone about a minute for each of the questions. You can just click right on the screen once you've got the answer.
Jill, this is Summer. Are you able to see the poll on your screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Whoops. There we go. It looks like we've got folks starting to find the answer. It does look like we've got a majority at this point, and the correct answer is 9. There's about 9 carrot products in the product database. So we'll move on to question number 2. What recipe is featured on Friday of the Cool Summer menu? All right. What recipe is featured on the Friday of the Cool Summer menu? Yep, Almonte tuna salad is what's featured on Friday that day. So our next poll, how many plain waters are in the product database? Plain water products. How many plain waters are in the product database? Let's see our answers. All right, yep, we've got 8. And so that we have time to get to the rest of our program, we're going to ask one more question, and then we'll move on. So our next poll, how many breakfast menus are included in the Smart Food Planner today? All right, breakfast menus in the Smart Food Planner. Let's see our answers. Yep, there are about 6 menus in there today. And as I mentioned, this is an area that we really want to bulk up, and we really want to feature menus and recipes from those out in the field. So please do feel free to send us your menus and your recipes. We would love to feature them. So again, the website is foodplanner.healthiergeneration.org. You can send us your menus, your recipes, or your questions or comments about the Food Planner in general to foodtools@healthiergeneration.org. So we are excited to see what questions come up. We want feedback on the site because we want to make it a great site for everyone to use. And again, we want to feature those menus and those recipes. One quick note about some other Alliance resources. We do have an online training center which you can link to directly from the Smart Food Planner. In our online training center you can find on-demand videos, you can find different trainings from our school health experts. They're usually short, so you can show those to staff or show them at staff meetings or just use them for your own professional development. You can also engage with our school health experts. That's myself and my team, who are the nutrition advisors, but we also have physical activity, physical education, staff wellness and policy experts as well that you can engage with through our training center, through what we call our online Connect communities. So I'd encourage you all to visit our website, go to the Smart Food Planner, link to that training center right from there. And just as with the Smart Food Planner and the Alliance homepage, it's all one single login. So if you have an Alliance free login information, you can access all three of those things. So in our last few minutes together, we want to give an opportunity for folks to ask questions or comments if you've had the opportunity to use the Smart Food Planner at this point.
Thanks, Jill. That was a really exciting demonstration. I really enjoyed the polls. So yeah, we've opened up everything for questions. So if you have a question, please type it in the chat, and we will, because we have a few minutes, so we certainly have time to take a few questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have a question. I'm going to read it out loud, and Jill, I'll punt it over to you. The question is, do you have any plans to include accessing the quality of meal components in the Smart Food Planner?
So
do you have any plans?
Oh, go ahead.
Nope, I was just repeating the question. Go ahead, Jill. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so the products that are in the Smart Food Planner, there are a couple of different categories. They do go through a vetting process through our nutrition advisor team. So there's a couple of different categories within there. There's a large portion of that database that is Smart Snacks compliant. So if snack food is not compliant with the Smart Snacks regulation, it doesn't make it into the database. And then those products that are can be utilized for school meal programs, like protein products or breakfast products, things like that. They do have to meet appropriate quality standards that they can be easily integrated into the school meal programs and meet those federal regulations. So we have another person on our team that looks at the school meal products specifically. So they have to be whole grain. They have to meet certain benchmarks so that they'll fit into the school meal program. So we are looking at quality within that database.
Excellent. Thank you, Jill. We do have another question, and the question is, do you have plans to create a similar model for child care programs in alignment with the new USDA meal pattern requirements?
Great question. So our menus that are in there, they do meet the meal pattern requirements for CACFP. We are working on tagging products specifically for CACFP, so definitely by the time those regulations go into play, it will be very evident which products meet those CACFP standards. So again, the menus, they do meet the meal pattern requirements, and we're looking at tagging some of the products, yogurts, things like that, as well, so that you can easily identify what is compliant with CACFP.
Thanks, Jill. We don't have any more questions right now, but we have time for one more. So if anyone feels the need to send us a question, we can wait for just another minute. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to email either Jill or myself. Our contact information is in the PowerPoint, so once that is sent out, feel free to shoot us an email, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Oh, we do have another question that's come in, a couple more.
Great.
Do you also have portion sizes for ages?
That is something that's not in there right now. We do indicate appropriate portion sizes in several of the menus, but as far as products go, they're not tagged with portion sizes. But you will see some portion sizes in some of the various menu patterns, depending on what the menu is and what it was for and who submitted it.
Thanks, Jill. And we have a couple more, actually a few more questions that have come in. The first one is, if a snack item met regulations last year, could they not meet regulations this year?
So I'm going to assume this is in reference to Smart Snacks, and please, whoever asked the question, feel free to type it in the chat box if I'm misunderstanding. But there were a few changes that happened July 1st of this year in terms of Smart Snacks. So there were some products that did meet last year that no longer meet, and that has been accounted for. All of those products that did meet but no longer do have been taken out of the product database.
Great. Next question. Is your intention to have the Smart Food Planner rolled out to state agencies to send to schools?
So it was officially rolled out this summer, and that's a great question. So it has been promoted by various stakeholders, and our team, my teammates, they are in constant communication with state agencies, so we can definitely make sure that that is sent out. I know it did go out in a USDA newsletter, but we can definitely connect with the state agencies in case that didn't come down and get it out.
Great, and we have one final question, and it is, can you send an email or template that we can send to our schools asking for them to submit some of their meal recipes? Right,
that's a really great question. Right now we don't have a template. Schools are just submitting, sometimes they'll submit their nutrient analysis and we get their recipe from that, or we've had them just submit on a Word document. As long as your ingredient information is in there, your crediting information, and your preparation instructions are in there, then we can format it so that it shows up appropriately on the website. But we don't have a template right now. But we'll account for formatting as long as those components are included. This is important things that everybody needs to know about the recipes.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jill. And for the interest of time, we are going to end it here. Any additional questions that came in that we did not answer, we're happy to respond to you personally or separately offline. And with that, I'm going to thank Jill Turley from the Alliance for a Healthier Generation for a great demo and the ability to showcase a really exciting tool that I think will be very beneficial for schools. Jill, do you have anything else to add?
I don't. Again, I appreciate everyone's time today, and thank you to No Kid Hungry for allowing me to do this demonstration for you all, and have a great afternoon.
All right, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.